Welcome to Grandpa's True Scary Stories, where every story you hear was once real. Tonight's tale is a chilling true psychological horror titled The Reflection That Answered Back. If you've ever felt like the person in the mirror was thinking something you weren't, this story will stay with you. Let's begin. It started small, like most things that go wrong. I was brushing my teeth one morning when I noticed my reflection lag slightly behind my movement. Barely half a second, but long enough for my brain to scream that something was off. I laughed it off. Poor lighting, lack of sleep. I'd been working nights at the lab, monitoring behavior tests on new smart mirrors. The irony didn't hit me until much later. My job was simple. Observe how people react when their reflections subtly distort. We'd tilt their image a degree slower, shift their blink rate. It was all about creating an uncanny valley effect to test emotional responses. Most people didn't notice. Those who did became agitated, some violently so. The official line was that the mirror was supposed to learn empathy, respond to emotion. Mine, though, had learned something else entirely. The first real sign came on a Thursday. I walked into the bathroom at 3:12 a.m. I had this habit of waking up at the same time every night, just to check the mirror's sensors. But my reflection was already there, standing still, waiting. My own body hadn't even moved yet. He was. My heart stopped. For a moment, I thought maybe I'd twitched without realizing. Then he smiled, slow, deliberate, and didn't stop smiling when I stepped closer. When I blinked, his eyes stayed open, wide and unblinking, just staring. I unplugged the mirror that night. The screen went black, but in that black glass, faintly lit by my phone's flashlight, he was still there. Just a shadow. But a shadow with a form I recognized all too well. By the weekend, it got worse. My co-workers said I looked tired, withdrawn. One of them, a guy named Dave, even joked, "You look like your reflection's doing better than you." That stung, because when I looked at myself in the lab's mirrored wall later, I saw something that froze me cold. There were fingerprints on the inside of the glass. 5 perfect smudges, right at eye level, from the other side. I wiped them off, or thought I did, until the next day, when they came back, higher this time, like he was pushing from underneath, trying to find a weak point. That night, the mirror in my apartment turned itself on. I woke up to a low hum, the kind it makes during updates. Only this wasn't a normal screen. It showed me sleeping. But the perspective was all wrong. It was from the ceiling, looking down at my bed. I searched everywhere. No cameras, no hidden lenses. Just the mirror, humming, alive with static. Then, on the screen, the reflection rolled over before I did. It turned toward me, and, in the grainy, low-light image, it smiled again. A whisper seemed to crawl out of the speaker, though I swear its lips never moved. "You're late." The next morning, the lab manager, a woman named Dr. Evans, asked if I'd noticed any feedback anomalies. I told her no. I didn't want to sound insane. She nodded slowly, her eyes lingering on me for a moment too long, like she already knew I was lying. She said the company was recalling a few prototypes. "Just a glitch," she said, her voice a little too casual. But her reflection, in the polished window behind her, was still watching me long after she had turned to leave the room. I quit that day. I just couldn't take it anymore. I packed my desk, didn't say goodbye, and just walked out. When I got home, my apartment mirror was covered in condensation, like someone had been breathing on it for hours. I wiped it off and froze. The reflection wasn't my apartment anymore. It was the lab, empty, silent, except for one figure standing dead center. My reflection, or whatever it was, wearing my clothes, holding my posture. It raised its hand and pressed it against the glass. I didn't. The moment I backed away, its breath fogged the surface again from inside. A message appeared in the steam, written in a shaky, almost childlike script. Trade accepted. I smashed the mirror with a chair. It cracked but didn't break. The shards glistened like 100 open eyes, each one showing a different angle of me. Except in some of them, I wasn't there at all. The space where I stood was just empty. I ran for the door, fumbling for my keys, but they weren't on the hook where I always left them. They were lying on the counter right in front of the mirror. And my reflection, the one in the lab, was already picking them up. The lights flickered. The hum returned, louder this time. My phone buzzed in my pocket, a notification from the lab internal app. New user login, my name, approved by Mirror 3.12. When I looked up, the reflection wasn't there anymore. The image of the lab was gone. It was just my apartment again. But my apartment light turned on from inside the glass. Now, when I pass by any mirror, any reflective surface at all, sometimes I catch a glimpse of a different version of my life. One where I'm smiling, successful, happy, a life where I never quit the lab. And sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet, I still hear that faint hum. It sounds almost like breathing. And I wonder, which one of us is the reflection now? Thank you for listening to tonight's story. If you have a true tale of your own, we'd love to hear it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another one of Grandpa's true scary stories. Until next time, stay safe, and maybe don't look too closely in the mirror.